This video is brought to you by Andy Gone Nuts. 100% guaranteed fresh coconut water delivered straight to your door. Call 876-309-6128. That's 876-309-6128. Refreshing and affordable. For more information, follow them on Instagram at Andy Gone Nuts. Truly refreshing. And Crumble by Mrs. C. Old English fudge and other delectable sweet treats. Call or WhatsApp 876-586-0471. That's 876-586-0471.
Hi, I'm Chris Binney, and I'm Jamaica's #1 squash player and 9-time Caribbean champion, and you're watching Reggae Boys Commentary. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and share button below.
Hello everybody, I'm Simon Preston. Welcome back to Reggae Boys Commentary, your platform for everything Jamaican football related. Everybody doing okay? Hope you're doing well. Looking forward to the discussion that we'll have today. It's 5:52 p.m. in Jamaica, and you continue to go east by 15 degrees. Then you will be an hour further ahead in relation to time. So that is what I'll say from that sort of standpoint, you know? So it's good. It's really, really good. And I'm looking forward to hearing what everybody here has to say. All right. So looking forward to it greatly. How's everybody doing? I know it has been a minute. Thank you very much to everybody for tuning in to Reggae Boys Commentary. An absolute pleasure to be able to hear from you all as well. Quite a bit to dissect. We do want to get into some of the strides that were made over the past 10 days or so, because there are things that we have to speak about in that matter before we look ahead to the summer as well. But first, a few in the comment section. Wagwan Simon, how are you doing? Jamaican Englishman says, big summer ahead. You're right. Course Courtney says, up. 2023, 2024, 25. I'm actually going to come to this, so give me a few minutes and I'll actually come to that. Tennyson Lambert says, Simon, up, blessings. How are you? Hope you're doing good. Big up yourself, up. Where are the colors? What do you mean, where are the colors? I don't understand what you mean. What do you mean, where are the colors? I don't understand what you mean, where are the colors? So, Carl, what's going on, man? Big up yourself, man. Hope you're doing well, settling in well, all right, in the north. So, yeah, man, enough respect, man. Thanks very much for tuning in. I want to address this comment before I go into this video, all right? And it's a big point. It's a huge point that was made. Patrick, big up. AJ, big up. Great to hear from you. I want to address this comment that is on your screen right now. So, 2023, we participated in the Gold Cup, which, of course, as we know, was in the United States, right? We played matches in Chicago, in St. Louis, Missouri, Santa Clara, California, Cincinnati, Ohio, and also Las Vegas, Nevada. Copa America 2024, we played matches in Houston, Texas. We also played matches in Vegas again, and also Austin, Texas. The Nations League in 2024, we had matches in Dallas, Texas, right? So you look at the last year and a half or so, we've familiarized ourselves with 8 cities, more or less, right? And this summer is the CONCACAF Gold Cup. So 3 years in a row, back-to-back tournaments taking place in the United States. The added element this summer is matches in Canada. By April 10, we'll find out specifically if that is to come to fruition. As we know, Vancouver will be a host city for the CONCACAF Gold Cup this summer as well. Vancouver in Canada will be hosting games. As to the comments, I just want to address what is on the screen right now before I progress to the other comments. Okay, folks? So yes, I just want to highlight, I know many people have been asking about the CONCACAF Gold Cup this summer and the cities that are going to be in fruition. So let me address that first, and then I'll get into the city. So in Canada, Vancouver. Vancouver is the only city in Canada that will be hosting matches in the Gold Cup this summer. In the United States, Arlington, Texas, Austin, Texas, Carson, California, Glendale, Arizona, Houston, Texas, two stadiums in Houston, the NRG and Shell, Inglewood, California, Minneapolis, which I believe is in Minnesota. You have Paradise, which of course Las Vegas, Nevada. You have San Diego, which of course is in California. You have San Jose, which is in California. You have Santa Clara, which is also in California. And of course, you have St. Louis, which is in the state of Missouri. So 14 venues overall, 13 of them within the United States, one in Canada. The vast majority of the venues, as we know, will be in the west coast of the United States, specifically California, Arizona, and also Nevada as well. But of course, we have to wait until the draw to be able to find out these venues in particular. But again, going back to the comment, and it's a very interesting one, and one that you have to say is an advantage for Jamaica because we're familiarizing ourselves with the United States. The Gold Cup last year, the CONCACAF, the Gold Cup in 2023, the Copa America last year, and now this summer we'll be playing matches on the west coast of the United States. 3 summers in a row we're playing matches in the United States. And you have to say that this bodes well because outside of the United States, Mexico, and Canada, Jamaica are gaining exposure about playing in North American soil. This is not something that is new to us, but you have to say that this is something that bodes well for Jamaica heading into the World Cup next year because teams from UEFA, teams from Africa, Asia, Oceania will not have the same experience as Jamaica playing on North American soil. We know what East Coast of the United States is like. We know what the West Coast of the United States is like. We know what Canada is like as well, having played Gold Cup matches there in 2015, playing against El Salvador at the BMO Field. And of course, we played against Canada in the Nations League in November 2023. Vancouver now, it will be a venue. So we are getting familiar with the venues across different time zones, and it's very important that we're familiarized with it as well. Remember in the Gold Cup in 2023, we started East Coast, Chicago. We played Missouri, which is like an hour flight. And then we went West Coast to Santa Clara. And then we went East Coast to Cincinnati, Ohio. And then we went back to the West Coast to play in Las Vegas, Nevada. So we've familiarized ourselves with different time zones, conditions. So you can say that the general core in terms of, when I mean general core, what I mean is like Jamaica, we as a team, players, staff are familiar with conditions, with venues, training facilities quite well. So this experience, you will see, will be invaluable for us moving forward as well into the Gold Cup this summer, and of course heading into the World Cup next year as well. You'll see how valuable it is as well, gaining this experience and exposure. Of course, we've played in the United States in November as well, in the Nations League, taking on the United States in the quarterfinals in St. Louis, Missouri. So I just wanted to address this comment before proceeding further. Okay, folks? Good. So that we can be able to progress further. Let me just take a few more comments I've turned in. Carl, Patrick, big up yourself, AJ. Jade, I'll be coming to your comment quite shortly. Sean says, like up the video. Them us talking about the jersey. Jersey behind me. Nah, there's no jersey behind me. Okay, so we can now look on your screen. Now you can look. I think this should be it now. Good. Good. So the 16 teams now have been confirmed for the Gold Cup, right? And who are those teams? Haiti, El Salvador, Curacao, the United States, Panama, Dominican Republic, Canada, Mexico, Trinidad and Tobago, Suriname, Jamaica, Guadeloupe, Guatemala, Costa Rica, Honduras, and the invited team in this tournament, Saudi Arabia. It's not the first time that we have invited teams in the tournament. This is something that has been around for even since the 90s as well, with Brazil being in the tournament. We've seen Colombia in the tournament. We've seen Ecuador in the tournament. We've seen Peru in the tournament. We've seen South Korea in the tournament. We've seen Qatar in the tournament. And now Saudi Arabia is in the Gold Cup this summer. And they're going to be in pot 4, which means that Jamaica has a strong possibility to be able to face Saudi Arabia within this Gold Cup, but we're going to have to wait. The official draw is scheduled for April 10th, so it's going to be on a Thursday. If you think about it, that's 2 weeks from now. Yeah, 2 weeks from now, we're going to face 2 weeks from now, we're going to have the draw for the Gold Cup, so we can be able to prepare our minds for that tournament in particular. All right, folks? So that is something for us to be mindful about and aware about. Make sense? Yeah, certainly something that we should know. And so that everybody can be mindful about that, Yeah. Good. So let's scroll down, shall we? So we know Group A will have Mexico. Group B will have Canada. Group C, Panama, and Group D, the United States. So what does that mean, folks? It means that Jamaica will face one of Mexico, Canada, Panama, or the United States in the group stages of the Gold Cup. Again, it means that Jamaica will face one of these 4 teams in the group stages of the Gold Cup. Again, Jamaica will face one of Mexico, Canada, Panama, or the United States. Jamaica will face one of those teams. Okay, good. Now that we have that sorted, what I want to do is speak about the pots. Which teams are in each pot? Who we know Jamaica will definitely not face in the group stages of the Gold Cup. Well, let's dissect that together so that we can be able to proceed. The draw procedure. The highest ranked teams are in pot 1 and the lowest ranked teams in pot 4. Good. So now that we have that sorted. Jamaica are in pot 2 with Costa Rica, Honduras, and Haiti. What that means is that Jamaica will not face Costa Rica, Jamaica will not face Honduras, and Jamaica will not face Haiti in the group stages of the Gold Cup. All right. Pot 3 has Trinidad and Tobago, Suriname, El Salvador, and Guatemala. So Jamaica will face one of Trinidad, Suriname, Guatemala, and El Salvador. Pot 4 has Guadeloupe, Curacao, the Dominican Republic, and Saudi Arabia. I've seen many comments online. I think even the most frequent comment I saw was that an ideal group for Jamaica is Panama, Jamaica, Trinidad, and Guadeloupe. But we're going to have to wait and see how everything pans out. So that is just something that we're going to have to be extremely patient on in relation to that element, in relation to the group of how everything pans out. So let that stay with us, okay? So that we can be mindful and aware about that. Okay? Everybody okay with that? Yeah. Let us keep that together. Good. So we have the information in relation to the Gold Cup, right? We have the Gold Cup venues. We have the draw procedure. We have also the dates. The dates, June 14 to July 6, okay? Again, that is June 14 to July 6. When is it? June 14 to July 6. June 14 to July 6. June 14 to July 6. All right. June 14 to July 6. Good. Certainly, if you do have questions about it, then please go ahead in the comments, and then from there, I will address it. But at least you are aware of these aspects of things so that you can be able to plan ahead. Okay? So let us do that together. Okay? Good. So now that we have that sorted, let us proceed with the video, shall we? Let us go. Sean Osborne says, like of the video. Big up, Sean. How are you doing, man? Hope you're doing well. So what we can do now is World Cup qualifying, CONCACAF World Cup qualifying, because the CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers is before the Gold Cup. And folks, what is the priority for the summer of 2025? Well, the priority for the summer of 2025 is 6 points in World Cup qualifying. Gaining 6 points in World Cup qualifying. That is the priority for the summer of 2025, because 6 points not only guarantees us top spot in the group, but it also guarantees a spot in the final round of World Cup qualifying, which of course is the third round of World Cup qualifying. Okay, so that is you have to say the priority of the summer of 2025, getting 6 points, obtaining 6 points in World Cup. What does that mean? Beating the British Virgin Islands and beating Guatemala. That you'd have to say is a priority for the summer of 2025. The Gold Cup is also a very important aspect as well. It helps the technical staff in fine-tuning preparations. It helps the technical staff in evaluating. It helps the technical staff in putting everything in place so they can plan ahead. So you have to say that this is something that is being treated very seriously. And as Coach McLaren said on Tuesday evening, we're going to compete, not participate. And you look at the last 5 Gold Cups, Jamaica has been to 2 finals and 2 semifinals. Semifinals in 2019 and 2023, finals in 15 and 17. All right, good. Or I'm not sure what you mean by this, because as you know, in CONCACAF is only teams that are in North America, Central America, and the Caribbean. Okay, good. Brownman Security says some good side in the Gold Cup. There are quality teams that are in the Gold Cup, and from a Jamaican standpoint, think about how special it would be in our 10-year anniversary to go and win the tournament. 2015, getting to our first ever final, beating the United States for the first time on North American soil, winning our first ever quarterfinal match in Gold Cup history. And I know many people are going to say, no, Simon, that's not true, but I'm telling you it's right, because when we got into the semifinals in the Gold Cup in 93 and 98, there was no quarterfinal match. So again, thinking about it, winning our first ever quarterfinal match, beating the United States for the first time in North American soil, getting to our first Gold Cup final, special moments. So can you believe was it 10 years ago? It's just, you just have to tell yourself, wow. That's what you have to say. You just have to say, wow, based on what we went on to accomplish. You have to say that. And Ramsey says, wave with a football. Johnny Powell says, up, Simon, up. How are you doing, Johnny Powell? I hope you're doing well. What is new? So, good. World Cup qualifying. So, in relation to where we are now, this is the second round of World Cup qualifying. In June, World Cup qualifying resumes, and these are the fixtures that remain within the group, Jamaica's group. So, on the 4th of June, Dominica will host the British Virgin Islands. Jamaica's next game is June 7 against the British Virgin Islands. So what that means is that British Virgin Islands hosting Jamaica, that will be the British Virgin Islands' last game in the group. All right? And not only is their last game, but it's also their last home game. The day before, Guatemala faces the Dominican Republic. All right? Of course, Jamaica culminates the second round of World Cup qualifying at home to Guatemala, June 7 and June 10. So what the point standings look like so far within the group. So we know how important obtaining 6 points is in this group. Beating the British Virgin Islands, beating Guatemala, so important for us. Very, very important for us. And again, I want people to understand this third round clearly so that there's no confusion at all. In the third round, which is also known as the final round, There's 3 groups, 4 teams in each group. The group winner of each of those 3 groups will qualify for the World Cup automatically. Again, top in the group ensures qualification to the World Cup. The 2 best runners-up will head to the Intercontinental Playoffs. There's going to be a draw to determine the groups for the 3rd round. So from a Jamaican standpoint, what do we need to do? Maintaining positive results, getting those positive results, picking up wins. That will help us in the ranking for seedings and bode well for us moving forward. So that is extremely important. Let's look at the FIFA rankings now, shall we? Now, in the latest edition of the FIFA World Rankings, right, Jamaica right now are number 62. Now, we need to ensure that we continue to rise up the rankings. That is important for us, extremely important. And that is something that we'll continue to keep on doing. Now, there are a number of strides that came out of the game against St. Vincent recently. Warner Brown scored for Jamaica. Now, as you know, Warner Brown was born in the year 2002. So, what does that mean? He was born in the 2000s. Have you ever thought about how much players were born in the 2000s and scored for Jamaica? Lamar Walker, Dejon Whisper Richards, John Russell, Deshaun Bernard, Kaheem Dixon, Dexter Limbikisa, Warner Brown. Those 7 players were born in the 2000s and have scored for Jamaica. So Warner Brown now becomes the 7th reggae boy born in the 2000s to score for Jamaica. Look at the last 4 games now. Jamaica has now scored 4 of their last 5 goals in the last 10 minutes of game. So think about this for a moment, right? We scored against St. Vincent and the Grenadines minute 88 and 90 plus 4. In the game in St. Vincent, scoring 90 plus 6, right? Against Trinidad and Tobago at Anthony Sports Complex, 90 plus 4, right? The game where we won 1-0 thanks to Sule McCullough, coming in the last 10 minutes of the game. So it shows resilience, it shows tenacity when we're a team that scores late goals. And that is a quality that we certainly want to continue doing. This is the 3rd game in a row where we're scoring in second half stoppage time. Warner Brown's first goal for Jamaica, Ronaldo Cephas' first goal for Jamaica. This is the 6th Gold Cup in a row that we're qualifying for. 2015, 17, 19, 21, 23. The Gold Cup draw is slated for April 10. Again, the 16 teams that will participate in the Gold Cup: the United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Costa Rica, Jamaica, Honduras, El Salvador, Haiti, Curacao, the Dominican Republic, Trinidad and Tobago, Suriname, Guadeloupe, Guatemala, and Saudi Arabia. An exciting summer that lies ahead. Reggae Boys goalkeepers with the most clean sheets. Andre Blake kept his 28th clean sheet for Jamaica recently. He remains 3rd on the all-time list for goalkeepers with clean sheets. Warren Barrett recorded 45 clean sheets for Jamaica. Donovan Ricketts recorded 33 clean sheets for Jamaica. Andre Blake, 28. Aaron Lawrence, 21. Dwayne Miller, 16. Sean Sawyers, 12. So at the present moment, that is where we are. Okay. Good. TEDxO says, good evening, Simon. Long time no touch base. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I'm doing well. Thank you. Hope you are doing well as well. How are things? Certainly hope that you're doing okay. Yeah, good to hear from you as well. So everybody knows what the summer is like. So come April 10, everybody can start planning their affairs for the summer. We definitely know what the month of June looks like. June 7 and June 10, we definitely know what that looks like. So the Gold Cup, we can now plan our affairs ahead now. So it's important for us. All right. So that is important for us. Lil Sherwood, how are you doing, man? Dudley. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Detonation says blessings, Simon. Blessings. How are you? All is well? Yeah, man, enough respect, man. Big up. Big up yourself. Hope the family is doing good. Yeah, let me know how you're doing. I hope the family is doing all right as well. So, folks, this is what the summer looks like. This is what the other groups are presently. So St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we know who we played recently. They have to go and win their remaining 2 games to stand any chance of trying to finish within the top 2. If Guatemala defeats the Dominican Republic and Jamaica defeats British Virgin Islands, then Guatemala and Jamaica will have secured the top 2 spots to the final round of World Cup qualifying. All right. If Jamaica defeats the British Virgin Islands, Jamaica goes to 9. If Guatemala draws with the Dominican Republic, that means Guatemala goes to 7 and the Dominican Republic goes to 4 points. And Jamaica defeating Guatemala, Jamaica would go to 12, Guatemala stays at 7. And that means the Dominican Republic would have to go and beat Dominica and by a scoreline that helps them in their goal difference to stand a chance to advance to the 3rd round of World Cup qualifying. So it's quite simple and straightforward what Jamaica needs to do. Win the 2 games, through to the final round. Group D has a few similarities to it. Nicaragua is ahead at the present moment. They'll play Panama soon. We saw Guatemala recently against Guyana, and it certainly was a compelling contest where Guyana won the first leg 3-2. And of course, the second leg, Guatemala won that. Group C, Curacao, Haiti, St. Lucia, Aruba, Barbados. And that's what Group C looks like at the present moment. There's an uphill task for St. Lucia and Aruba. So Curacao and Haiti are the Caribbean nations that are flying in that group. Group B is still wide open, but the decider, very much so, could come in the Trinidad and Tobago versus St. Kitts and Nevis encounter. Because you can have Grenada defeating Bahamas, Grenada going to 4 points. And you can have St. Kitts and Nevis beating Trinidad, they could go to 6, or that game ends in a draw. Trinidad 5 points, St. Kitts and Nevis 4 points, Grenada 4 points, which means going into the final game, you would have Trinidad on 5 points, St. Kitts and Nevis on 4 points, Grenada on 4 points. And when you look at the remaining matches, you'll have St. Kitts and Nevis against Grenada, which means the winner of that game and a Costa Rica win over Trinidad means St. Kitts and Nevis or a Grenada in the final round. So Group B is still wide open to anyone. And you can also say the same of Group A as well. Yes, Honduras have started quite well, but you have to say that with the remaining games, there's an opportunity for the other teams that remain in this group: Cuba, the Cayman Islands, Antigua and Bermuda. Quite a riveting summer ahead. Bermuda against the Cayman Islands in the British Overseas Territory Derby. A team here, Bermuda could go to 4, or the Cayman Islands could go to 6. We'll have to wait and see there. Cuba has Antigua to play, and then Bermuda. So that's what that group looks like. Be a bless up, Simon. Be a blessing. April 10. Okay, April 10 is the draw. Okay, April 10 is the draw for the Gold Cup. So on April 10, 6 p.m. Jamaica time, we will know the groups for the Gold Cup. and we should have further information in relation to the venues as well. The only thing we know at the moment in relation to the venues is that the first game of the tournament will be in LA at the SoFi Stadium. So that much we know for sure. We know that for sure. The first game of the tournament, not for Jamaica, but I'm saying the first game, whoever's in Group A, yeah, it's going to be there. Destination says everyone doing wonderful. And I'm going to mention something that happened at the last Gold Cup as well. For the Gold Cup, we have to wait and see TEDx to Hope. We don't have the confirmation yet of the Jamaica venue for the matches, but we do know that there's a vast majority of West Coast venues that will host games in the Gold Cup. So we just have to wait until April 10, April 11 for that, okay? So we're just going to have to wait. No, be a blessing there. In relation to the Gold Cup, remember, Gold Cup, West Coast. East Coast is the FIFA Club World Cup. So the FIFA Club World Cup, you'll have matches in New York, New Jersey, Philly, Atlanta, Florida, while the Gold Cup will be on the West Coast, LA, Santa Clara, San Diego, Glendale, Arizona, Las Vegas, Nevada, Santa Clara, yeah, San Jose. So yeah. So that's what I would say there. Anthony says, blessings, Simon. Blessings. How are you doing? Big up yourself, man. So that is what I say there. And as everybody know, you can show your love and support to the platform by using the super chat feature. You guys know that when you come on this platform, it is all about accuracy, reliability, credibility, and positivity. That is exactly what you get right here on this platform. So show your love and support to the platform by dropping a super chat as well, because you know exactly when you're here. I go to the point, direct, and you get the information. So that in itself would be greatly appreciated. All right. So we're looking forward to that greatly. Marco O, how are you? All is well? Here I am. Here I am. Okay, here I am. Tell me, what is going on? Tell me, what is going on? Yeah, tell me what's going on. What is new? Yeah, tell me what's going on. Yes, and comment as well, folks. Where are you watching this video right now? Where are you watching this video from? And also share your love, show your love and support to the platform by using a super chat as well. So go ahead, do that. I'm waiting on you. Oren Hernandez, the man from Trinidad, is in the house. The man who defeated Cuba in the prelims. And as you can see by the title of this video, busy summer ahead. Indeed. Very much so. L. Forbes says Florida. Well, L. Forbes, Florida is a massive state. You have to be a bit more specific. Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Port St. Lucie, Tallahassee, Jacksonville, Marco Island, Pensacola. Where in Florida? You see, destination was very specific. He said Atlanta. So Atlanta, Georgia, cool. You know what I'm saying? Warren Hernandez says fabulous work. It's being worked on, Marco. It's being worked on for sure. L. Forbes says Orlando. Okay, Orlando. Disney World. Orlando, nice hotels. Certainly a place where persons gravitate to, for sure. Conrad Smith is in New Mexico? Really? New Mexico? That means that you're in a time zone that is behind Jamaica time, I believe. Oh, it's interesting. And you go to Arizona, New Mexico, Las Vegas. It can be quite hot in these places. So I'm not sure how you manage the heat. You have to tell me, how do you manage the heat in these areas? So full credit to you for those areas. Marco O says Queens, New York. Anthony, thank you for your support. I appreciate that. I appreciate that greatly. Thank you for your support. That is appreciated. Thank you for showing your love to the platform. All right, that would be great. So that is what I would say. Well, it'll be a blessing. I'm not sure if you watched the last press conference from Coach McLaren, not only the squad announcement press conference, but also the post-match press conference against St. Vincent and the Grenadines. He said, Coach McLaren says that there are 5 to 6 players that he's working on. So That is what Coach McLaren says. So it's very important, folks, that we listen, watch these press conferences, and progress forward. So what I'm doing is that what I could do, I could play it for you. Since I'm not sure if everybody watched it, but what I could do is play it for you. Let me play it for you because some of those questions that you ask, Coach McLaren has raised. All right, as well. So you can be able to watch it. So let me play it for you. Okay, good.
Huge injection of
Members of the media, good evening. Thank you very much for being here. The post-match press conference, Jamaica versus St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The CONCACAF World Cup play, as mentioned yesterday, is a historic night for Jamaica. Jamaica becomes the first Caribbean team to host not only a CONCACAF World Cup game, but a Gold Cup prelims game tonight. And of course, back in 2019 when we hosted Honduras. We're joined with the head coach of the senior men's national team, Coach Steve McLaren. So we're going to open the floor now for questions. Please raise your hand. And after you are indicated, then we'll proceed with the questions. So go ahead, Leger. Please go ahead, Leger.
Good evening, Coach. Well, it's been a big talking point in terms of, because you've said it previously, in terms of the tempo that you want your team to play at. In the first leg, it was a bit slow, but in the second leg, especially after around 30 minutes or so, there was a huge injection of tempo into the team. Did that please you, one? And two, is that the tempo that you would want your team to play at going forward?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't mind keeping the ball in possession, which is fine. But a lot of the times in the first game, we turned down playing forward too many times and went square and back, which slowed the game down, allowed them to get behind the ball and made it very difficult for us. So we worked on that for the 2 days and saying we've got to have more urgency and tempo in our game. So really we were kind of saying we're coming out when we're 1-0 down, because when we were 1-0 down, our tempo increased. And, you know, we've got players with ability and speed who will cause problems. So we have to feed the front players as often as possible. So you're absolutely right. That is closer to how we want to play. We still want to, and I thought the game management from the boys was excellent, from back to front, controlled it, up the tempo when we needed to. So I call it playing 90 miles an hour and playing 10 miles an hour. And I think in the first game we played 10 miles an hour too much. This time I was pleased with the balance and we got the 90 miles an hour, which when we play like that, you know, we cause teams problems.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Lish.
Nice, sir. First, 3 questions. Okay, let's say you speak about tempo, but for a large portion of the game, you know, it was kind of slow, like there weren't enough passes and just not enough like cohesion of the team. Seems like you guys were missing a creative midfielder, that type of player. So how do you would you able to fix that in the future, or what did you see were the problems that, you know, because St. Vincent could have easily capitalized on a lot of mistakes?
I didn't see any problems this time. When you play against a team like St. Vincent, and congratulations to Ezra on the performance of his team over the 2 games. But there's one big thing I've learned: there are no easy games in the Caribbean, no matter what. And they worked hard and were quick on the break. And when they're a transition team like that, if you keep giving the ball away by forcing too many things, then that gives them opportunity to transition counter-attack on you. So it's getting the balance between keeping the ball and making sure that we move up the field, keep our rest defence, so we mark when we attack. The defenders are close and we can maintain and play in their half, which I was really pleased with today. And even the other day, we controlled it, but it was too slow a tempo, where this was quicker. And I think the injection of the likes of Warner Brown and Cephas on the left, and, you know, we told the boys, yeah, don't give up a forward pass. And I think we did that better.
Thanks, Kobe.
Coach, speaking of tempo and keeping the game aligned with your game plan, Andre Blake, another clean sheet for him for his stellar career. What would you say about his warrior performance tonight? You know, battling through some knickknacks and continue to play through the game all throughout.
Yeah, I mean the whole back four I thought were excellent, and you're absolutely right. You keep a clean sheet, you win games, and we said that before the game. We keep a clean sheet, we go through. We want to score, but we keep a clean sheet, we go through. And I think in my games, 10 games, home games especially, I think we've conceded 1 goal. And so we're pleased about that. And we said that to the players before, that we're playing at home. This is our home. This is, you know, the legend is the office. We're not there at all, nowhere near. But we want to make this, we want to own the stadium, own the field. And I think we did that today. Now we just need to develop and do it more.
Thanks, Gary. Jordan.
Coach, Jordan Sports, CBS Sports. You mentioned Warner Brown. And, there's a lot been made of players who play in Jamaica professionally. What did you think of him, what he brings to the team as an attacking force? And how are you looking to integrate players such as Warner Brown as you move into World Cup qualifying?
Well, I think, as I said before, I think the camp that we had a month ago with the local players was invaluable. Gave me great insight into the players and the culture of them and the work ethic and their game intelligence was fantastic. And then I think in the squad, we chose 10 JPL players and young ones as well as experience. And I've just said in the dressing room, some have played. I think Richard King was excellent tonight, defensively and coming out with the ball. Warner Brown's come in and not just caused problems with his pace, but held the ball up, was always a target for us. And the local players, they've really made it difficult for the UK and foreign-based players coming in. So it was a balance of 10 and 10, more or less. And the local players never shied away from the challenge, kept the tempo of training very high in intensity, which is what the starting 11 require. And with no problem in giving people a chance. And Warner deserved it from the first camp. I saw it, but I just felt that with his speed, running in behind, he's an actual nightmare for defenders.
Thanks, Ron. David.
Coach, as it relates to the midfield duo of Isaac Hayden and Bobby Reid today, would you say that it's closer to finding a solution in that midfield?
Absolutely. I think away from home, we wanted to be a real defensive player there, which is why we played Sully. And he did a good job, and Isaac was on 8 today. We felt that, including bringing Dimmy inside, that we didn't go through the middle in the away game, and we wanted to. So we need people who can deal with the ball. Isaac, Bobby, and Dimmy, they can all deal with the ball, as you saw. And Isaac and Bobby are tenacious and can get around the field, mobile. And the interceptions they won, and then the first pass into Dimmy or the first pass into Warner or out wide was our big threat. And then we got the speed on the sides with Leon and Cephas. So I was really pleased with the midfield.
Colin, Coach, you spoke earlier about playing balancing between going between 9 miles an hour and 10 miles an hour with 2 legs. You played with 2 known Caribbean cricket grounds in Arthur Bell and Sabine Park. Do you feel that affected how you managed to play between the 2 paces?
I think there's no hiding from the fact that when we play at home and we play in the national stadium, that the surface can be a factor. We find that in training grounds, we find that at the national stadium, and I got to say, the pitch here was excellent. Apart from Isaac Hayden, who got a really tight calf because the middle where he was playing was very hard. So I thought that was excellent. I thought the surroundings and the atmosphere was very good. I don't know if we can play here again, but
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. I'm here in one of the Palestinian refugee camps, and there's a distribution now, inshallah ta'ala, which we're going to show you how it's done. So if you follow me, inshallah ta'ala.
So these players are used to a good surface. The local players, maybe not, but it has a big effect on the game that we want to play. We want to keep the ball. We want to build from the back. We don't want to be a team, what I call an opportune team. We rely on long balls, second balls, and transition from that. And to do that on some of the difficult surfaces that we've had to has been hard. But we persisted with it, and it's getting used to that. And we get them for 1-2 days. And what I saw in the first game, although the tempo could be higher, I saw a lot of principles which we've worked on from day one, and especially in this game, a lot of principles in terms of building with 3 at the back, having a controller, having a 10, speed on the sides, and a target man who can run in behind. That is more how I want to play, instead of playing in front of the opponent all the time. The key is getting behind the opponent, and I felt we did that today. We haven't done that as well in previous games, so that's something to take forward.
Hi, Coach McLaren. 10 games in so far. You said that the players have still been getting used to your style of play. In those 10 games where you've used different personnel, played against different teams, what have been some of your greatest takeaways? And heading into the important World Cup qualifiers and Gold Cup, how do you make certain adjustments to ensure that your style of play and the team can can go on and achieve their objectives?
Yeah, that's it. We just need to, when we're together, and we need to educate. That's what I learned from the camp with the local players. We need to educate them more into how we want to play, how we want to build up, how we want to make a 3 or a 4 at the back, and how we want to press, either pressing with a 9 and a 10 or just a 1 and 7, 11. So there's about 2 or 3 ways in which we've been working on to build up, 2 or 3 ways which worked on to press, and then it's also been about getting the balance in midfield. So it's coming. But we've still got a lot to do, and what I'm pleased about is that we can have 2 games in the UK, 2 friendlies, 2 World Cup qualifiers, and then the Gold Cup. I'm really looking forward to that. Where I don't know where we're going to play, but I would think that the services will be pretty good where we do that. So yeah, we're. I think I said it yesterday. We wanted to come in and change the style to more a what is happening in Europe and the UK in terms of building ball possession, of pressing, of counter press, of pressing high, winning the balls, transitioning quick, being compact as a team, and that takes time. We've only got them for 2 or 3, 4 days maximum when they come over, but they're we're getting better.
Sonny Felix for JFF Live. Coach McLaren, for the past 2 to 3 days, the fans have been anxious. But now you've qualified for the Gold Cup. Do you have anything to say to put them at ease?
Well, I think they'll be at ease tonight, as we all are, myself included, because we put ourselves in a hole, really. We haven't got that penalty in giving that license. And where is most effective?
Our team, we're ready.
Have a left footer and a right footer to do that, which we are working towards.
So, one more.
Dan, from Ballpreview TV. Do you think our team we're ready to win this Gold Cup? This 2025, we're going into the World Cup 2026. Do you think our team is fully ready and prepared in a short term, couple months from now, going in the Gold Cup? For the fans, we like to win something going in the World Cup. So we'd like the team be very competitive and no shyness in the Gold Cup. We need to go bold and brave. And we need to see the team play more like when we work higher pressing team like the US, the Canada. We need to see that bonus and that, because people always talk about the 98 or the team always hungry first 5 minutes in the game.
Yeah, he's giving me the answer. So we're going to compete. We can't wait to compete. We compete all the time. The JFF arranged 2 friendlies in the UK against good opponents. So that's getting the players together in the camp. That will prepare us for the 2 World Cup qualifiers. The more time we can spend with these players, the better everything will get. And I want to see from now until May, the local players maintaining the standards of what they brought, developing, improving in terms of game intelligence and tactical wise, because they've certainly got energy and enthusiasm, and we really love that. And then we're hoping that we are also hoping from now until May that we can make additions as well, which we're really working on, and for some players quite close to. But if we can add more quality, I think going forward, we miss Mikel Antonio. He was the number 9, and he's a big threat in behind. He can hold the ball up. He's a leader. He's a captain. We really miss Mikel. We hope we get him in the summer, or then at least in the qualifiers. But in the meantime, we're forever searching for players who can make this squad better. Thank you very much.
This video is brought to you by Andy Gone Nuts. 100% guaranteed fresh coconut water delivered straight to your door. Call 876-309-6128. That's 876-309-6128. Refreshing and affordable. For more information, follow them on Instagram at Andy Gone Nuts.